Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Breakfast Daily, and we are still on the community development segment. And now we're going to be talking about street lights. Street lights.
Yeah.
Accra is dark.
Accra is beyond dark.
You know, very dark. And you know, the last time we actually read it here in one of the newspaper headlines, we were wondering, is it ECG? Is it? But no, it's about the street lights.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how everybody just, feels it's normal because nobody's talking about it.
No, I'm not even sure it's about feeling it's normal. I mean, it's more about despair, and it's about the fact that it seems as though no matter how much you talk about it,
nothing happens.
Nothing happens. You do see the thing. It's a problem, and I think it's disgraceful that we have people who are being paid salaries to handle this. Right. And people who are taking salaries, we can't. You see, it's a multi-pronged problem. There's the issue of financing, right? There's the issue of theft.
Yes.
We have to be able to figure this thing out, one way or another, right? I don't think that we're doing enough as a people to, first of all, stop people from stealing what it is that they are stealing. True. Right? Have we ever arrested anybody for stealing? No, I mean, we don't know. I'm asking questions.
I haven't seen that.
I'm asking questions. Yeah. We'll talk to people to try and figure out where it is we are in this space. Right? So we do have a report for you. We'll be bringing it to you shortly. But the question, so many of them come to me, right? What have we done? Because sometimes you see a van pull up at traffic lights. I'm sorry, at street lights. Yeah. And you see people climbing up.
And you see someone climbing up, acting like fixing or something.
Apparently, or ostensibly to change the lights that are off, right? Now, are they changing the lights that are off, or are they stealing the lights? We don't know.
We don't know.
Do you get it?
That's true.
And of course, nobody driving in traffic has the time to say, let me stop for 10 minutes and watch what the person is doing.
Or even ask, who are you?
Do you get it? And if the person says, oh, I'm from this place, can you verify?
Well, true.
Do you see?
True.
Now, those who are walking by the streets and see this happen definitely do not feel empowered enough to feel like they can go across and ask the person that, what are you doing? Are you fixing lights or what's going on here? Do you see what I'm saying? So there has to be a way we figure this out. Number one, to stop people from stealing street lights. All right. And then also, when the street lights go off, for example, on the motorway, right, there are large stretches of the motorway where you see that the lights have been removed. Then there are stretches where the lights are there, but they never come on. You see, that's the motorway. There are many other streets, highways in Accra that are the same.
And it's scary.
It's just dark.
It's actually scary driving through the darkness.
You know what the things that frightens me at night? And I usually don't get scared by things, but one of the things that frightens me at night is human beings just suddenly showing up,
appearing on
30 meters in front of the vehicle. A human being just shows up, right? Now, what has happened is that because there are no street lights, you don't see people way ahead, right? And most people don't even understand that the fact that I see car lights coming towards me doesn't mean that the driver can see me. As I'm walking, I'm literally a walking dead person if the person loses concentration for a moment, because the person cannot see me at a certain distance until the lights that I see from far away are actually falling on me in my dark clothes. The driver cannot see me. But pedestrians don't understand this because many of them don't drive, so they don't know. You see that thing? So National Road Safety Authority needs to come and explain to us what their thinking is in this particular space where our streets are poorly lit. Right? We don't, I have never heard any education that says every person that's walking on the road at night must have something reflective on your on your person,
on your clothes or something.
Yes.
You know, the thing is, I never really understood why runners used to wear
the
reflective clothes until I started running actively.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh,
it's a dangerous.
It is dangerous.
No. For me, it's until I started driving, and then driving at night. That's when I realized the importance that if I ever step out, I better make sure that I have something reflective, because the driver is not seeing me till I am 20, 30 meters away from the person. They won't see me. It's that dangerous. Anyway, we do have a report for you. Let's take a look at it. We'll come back and we'll call some people up to ask the relevant questions.
Just 4 months ago, Citi News investigated the issue of faulty streetlights in various parts of Accra. Several stretches, including the Medina Denton Road, Kolebu Mortuary Road, parts of Independence Square and 28th February Road, suffered from total darkness. Despite rechecking over the weekend, the situation remains unchanged. Notably, in front of the Supreme Court building, opposite the Dr. Kwame Nkrumah Presidential Library, vehicles were seen speeding in the dark, relying solely on their headlights. Bernard Aqua, a pedestrian who frequents the area, shared a near-death experience.
These are the routes I go home with, so I pass here most often. Yes.
Okay. So how often? Can you tell us how often?
Almost every day. Every day. So.
Have you noticed that some of the street lights are not working?
Oh yeah, I've noticed. One time the street light that I was working. One day I was working, I saw it was just blinking on and off, on and off. So when I came and I saw it, I was even surprised. But this side, most of the times, is off. And you see, there are a lot of mad people around. It makes the place dangerous. Last time I was chased by armed robbers. Yes.
On this same stretch?
Yes.
So, can you tell us about it? What time were you walking here and then you had that experience?
I think around 8:30 p.m. So as I was walking, and because it's dark, people try to do evil things in the dark. So as I was walking, and I turned my back, I noticed two guys following me. But I just decided that maybe they are just normal people following me. But as I was going, I realized that they were still following me. So I decided to just cross the road, and I saw that they were chasing me. It was dangerous. I was nearly knocked down by a car.
Frank Eduose, a second-hand clothes vendor at the Tema station, revealed that he avoids walking alone on the walkway. During a drive from the Supreme Court to Independence Square and Osu Castle, some streetlights were fixed, while others remained dysfunctional. The team then proceeded to the historic 28th February Road, where streetlights were installed along the edges, but not in the median. The lights were mounted on electric poles installed on the road's edges. Parts of the La General Hospital Road leading to the Teshi District's police headquarters were also engulfed in darkness due to the ongoing Labish Road expansion project. Isaac Kweku, a taxi driver, expressed his frustration. Further along the route, there was total darkness from the La Veterinary Services Department to the Dankwa Circle roundabout. Parts of the Dankwa Circle roundabout leading to the Ghana National Fire Service headquarters also lacked illumination. Darkness prevailed from the North Kanishi roundabout to the frontage of Awudome Cemetery. Moreover, some parts of the old Abusokai Central Mosque leading to the Kolebu Mortuary Road were completely dark. The Flamingo Junction to parts of Kanishi First Light also lacked proper lighting. Concerned road users shared their thoughts with Citi News.
Oh, if the street light is not working, when people are trying to cross the road, sometimes they can make an attempt and then you see ping and all those stars. The last time like this, I think there was a robbery going on around here, and it's all because there's no light. They snatch someone's phone along the roadside. It's costing a lot, but then we don't know what to do. From here to, I think, First Light, this is Flamingo. The road, there's no street light working since for years back. So if you are working on this stretch, you should be very careful.
How often do you use this stretch?
And almost every day. But these street lights, I think it's off for over 3.5 years now. You report it to the authority, they will tell you they will come. Anytime you go, you contact them, they will come. But still now, when in the night, you see a little robbing here. People mobile phone will be taken. They put knife on them. Sometimes laptop, the student laptops and their back, the motors pick, they will pick a big, I can say, machete on them, which it has gone on for years. Now I don't know what currently the authorities is doing. You'll be arriving sometimes, even traffic light is off. You call them, they will come. But still, some of them are broken as we speak now.
The Citi News team continued to Hansonic Junction in Dansoman, where they observed non-functional streetlights installed in the median of the road. There was no illumination on the streets from Darkuman Junction through Odoko, Sakaman to Malam Junction. Dark areas included Barnyard, Hong Kong, Abrantia Spot, Achimota Police Station, Achimota Old Station through to Alaji Junction were also dark. A taxi driver, Charles Kayose, lashed out at the government for their failure to act.
And Penfo Kruma be a say no, because a forest. Free Odoko, a Bessicosi Malam Johnson. Just what you want to say. Yana me crano, just a medium harm and say Jimmy Samu said the Bayu. That's what I say. And you know, so man, I team nice and Penfo being team, and any criminal can roam about. In Accra here, listen, you're footing and no Musa, a friend saying so, a different for Rosa, and yet, so Penfo the cast in the mood be a.
Meanwhile, Samuel Ni Ajay Teria, the chief executive of the Korle Klote Municipal Assembly, acknowledged that although the responsibility for installing streetlights does not solely fall on the Assembly, they are making efforts to find solutions.
As to the streetlights, we have portions of the municipality or some specific streets up to about maybe 20 or so that are handled through the Ministry of Energy. The first set of roads to mention that comes under this is the ceremonial roads, which you may not find in most other assemblies. Then we have some busy road, dual carriage roads, etc., that also are managed through the Ministry of Energy. So, in some cases, although we are still not directly responsible, as the city authorities, we either notify Ministry of Energy, and also we have taken steps in some cases. Look out for electricity poles that we can do some additional lights and put those lights there to make sure the place is lighting up.
According to Pearl Adusu Satekla, the Public Relations Officer for the National Road Safety Authority, discussions have taken place during a stakeholder meeting. She revealed to Citi News that a new consultant engineer has been engaged to design a comprehensive national framework for managing streetlights across the country.
Driving in darkness is not that helpful when we talk about road safety promotion in the country. And so, as you rightly said, we have engaged our sister agencies who are the Ghana Highway Authority, Energy Commission, and the rest. And what they told us, or what we gathered from them, is that there is a framework to change the whole street light framework system in the country. And so they have a consultant who is helping them to put up the new framework to suit modern trends. You know, such things, it's a process, it's not an event. And so they will do procurement and all those things. And so far, honestly, as we sat, we've given them some time to report back. They've not yet reported as to the level they've gone to. And so we are hoping that they will come up with the new development, how far they've gone to. But we are hoping that within in the medium term, we'll see a new lighting system in the country very soon.
Welcome back, and we just watched the report. And one thing I actually took from that report is that it's not only drivers or pedestrians who are, it's not only drivers who are in danger, but pedestrians too, because
no, pedestrians are more in danger.
Because one of the guys said sometimes you can be walking on the road and you don't know if there's a madman around there. And he said he was nearly attacked. And he also said while walking...
you mean the darkness?
Yes.
Okay, like walking because...
Walking on the road.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the cars this time, not just about the vehicles this time, but it's also about walking on the road.
No, so, it's a very serious thing, that we should find ourselves in this situation. And we've been joined by the MCE, Mr. Samuel Niajetevia. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Good morning to you today.
Yes. Thank you very much for joining us. So, the issue of street lights, of course, it's not, it's not the exclusive preserve. The challenge is not the exclusive preserve of your municipality. But what are some of the challenges that you're facing in terms of making sure that every street is well lit, and is there any hope, down the line that we will soon have lights on all the streets?
Thank you very much. So first of all, I would say that the street lights, the section of street lights that are done by the assembly is mainly in the communities. With regards to selected roads, especially in our case, where we are, we have the ceremonial roads, etc., and some of the major roads, and those are done by the Ministry of Energy, and they've contracted some of these things out. So what we at the assembly tend to focus on is in the community, so that there will be lights in the community. In our case, on this issue, in our case, we tend to also go to some of the streets and do some work with regards to those at the Ministry of Energy, like the 28 February Road, for example, the Oxford Street, because we see that the spacing, we have to realize the spacing of the stretch between each light is so much that sometimes where there are electricity poles that we can put up additional lights, we've done so. So I think, although a few months ago, probably sometime last year, there was an outcry that our cities are dark.
Yeah.
But since then, the ministry has given every assembly about 600 street lights, and then in our case, we have also procured additional lights to make sure the streets are lit up. What we've also done a couple of days ago, I had meeting with some of the technical men at the assembly to make sure we go back, in spite of the work that we've done since December, we go back and look at replacement, because some of these things, through no fault of anyone, maybe because some say because we are close to the sea, etc. Although they've been treated differently, they go off. So that is what we are having to do, more like a mop-up.
Okay. So how impactful has 600 streetlights been? Okay.
Thank you very much. I think considering what used to be the case, probably about a year ago, when everyone was complaining on the beach road, etc., the 600 is come to do a lot of work for all of us.
Okay.
But again, speaking specifically in concerning College Lobby, we've had to, since the latter part of last year, for example, we have 11 letter areas. We work with the assembly members by giving them first, for a start, about 30 lights each to all the 11 electoral areas, spare parts to go and make sure the existing ones were working. Thereafter, we provided them with another additional 30 LEDs again for all the 11 electoral areas. Then from the 24th of December, we started putting out the 600 lights that the Ministry of Energy allocated to us.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, what we have also done with the assembly members. I think 5 out of the 11 assembly members requested that their electoral area fund, they were going to deploy that to street lights. So they've also procured some lights, or we have procured some lights on their behalf, and that's our process. A lot of work, or the city is now later. However, like I said, we have noticed that although they've recently been put, some of them are not functioning properly. And then we are going to do a mop-up. So with the way you started working now, I'm sure we can have a regular routine as to when the lights come on. We can make sense of it, and then we'll be sure all the time that at least 90% of the lights are working in our police.
All right, so there have been issues of theft of these lights, and obviously you are busy providing more lights and, trying to light up the city. But how does that stop the theft? Are there any measures put in place to, control these issues of theft, or actually stop the issues of theft? Okay, so we do go around, and then some of these people get arrested when they are caught. And then obviously they are dealt with. But for these things, when we go to do these things, it happens on our blind side. And then before we realize it, the whole stretch, like the Independence Avenue, is not working because someone is going to cut a cable somewhere. And the whole of the Independence Avenue, or a section of it, is off. And then it's not that they do not have lights, but the cabling has been cut off. Yes, so once we get hold of them, they are dealt with. But it's a challenge that we'll be working on. Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel Ni J. Terrier. We appreciate your time. He's the MCE of Kole Klote, and they're doing their best to light up that part of the city. I hope that other parts of the city will also do same and take cue, because Accra is really, really dark. It is dark. I mean, I'm sure those of you who drive around, you know exactly what we're talking about.
And it's funny how everyone is driving with their headlights, like the full headlights on blast, hurting
but that one,
the eyes of the opposite drivers.
Yeah, but that one, it's even, I think, a DVLA issue, because I think that people are using unauthorized lights. Lights that are beyond the gauge that you're supposed to use. People are using all kinds of things. People are using strobe lights. People are using white lights at the rear. You're supposed to have red lights at the rear. They're using white lights, blinking lights at the rear. All kinds of funny things are going on, and it's a DVLA thing, So we need to get to the bottom of all those things, and so that we have some sanitation or sanitizing of our system. Well, we've been joined by the Public Relations Officer of the National Road Safety Authority, Pearl Adusu Setekla. Good morning, ma'am. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good morning, madam. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. So, as a National Road Safety Authority, what are you doing to make sure that Accra is better lit than it has been in the last few years?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. As you rightly asked, the National Road Safety Authority sees the non-functioning and unavailable street lights and traffic lights as a threat to road safety. And so, in 2020, ended of 2021 and beginning of 2022, we wrote to the Department of Urban Roads to, as a matter of agency, restore or install the non-functioning street lights and traffic lights so that it does not conflict with vehicular and pedestrian movement as to cause crashes and its resultant death and injuries. They also called us to a meeting whereby they've given some consultants a time frame to reframe the installation of street lights and traffic lights in the country, the whole country, to take it to the state of a modern type of street lighting and traffic lights. And so recently, we went back to see the progress of work. They've done visibility studies, and they are now on procurement to, bring the equipment down and install. That is so far what we know. Even today, we are following up with the Highway Authority and Department of Urban Roads some installation of other road traffic furniture. And so as you've called me now, I will also use the opportunity to also inquire about the progress, how far they've gone to, so that the next time I will bring to the public knowledge how far the Urban Road and Department, Ghana Highway Authority have progressed with the installation of the non-functioning street lights in the country. You know, the installation and maintenance of street lights is not in the domain of the National Road Safety Authority. Let's collaborate with our sister stakeholders to make them perform their duties as it is deemed fit.
Let me ask, when you say the procurement is going on by the consultant who is supposed to give us modern street lighting, what sort of changes are you aware of in terms of, when you say modern street lighting, what are we talking about? What kind of street lighting are they bringing that's different from what we've known in the past?
They were considering solar system.
Okay.
That will, they were considering solar system and another system. Technically, I may not be able to pronounce it.
Okay.
Unless maybe, And so they were considering that, which will be very economical and long-lasting, and it will not be going up, and then especially whereby thieves will not get the opportunity of removing the wires and other things as it is installed.
Okay.
Because that one is another major problem for the department. And so that they were considering various parts. So maybe I may have to go back and then get the full report, and so that I may be able to tell you exactly the type that they are considering.
All right. So apart from fixing the faulty street lights or trying to replace them, do you have other strategies of trying to ensure that people are actually safe on the road, like enhancing road safety? Obviously, because of the criminal activities that have been going on, are there other measures that you have in place for that?
Yeah, we also met with the district, municipal and metropolitan assemblies. And then we asked them that if the need could be within their jurisdiction, they should also budget for putting some street lights in their various jurisdictions, the environment, so that apart from the major one that Ghana Highway Authority, Department of Urban Road, and then Energy Commission will be doing, they can be able to lift their environment and to wait for major contracts to finish. So that's where we are. They've not come to give us any feedback as to whether they are doing it or they are not doing it. And we also have realized that because the streets are not lit, most of the drivers install their own light on their vehicles, which rather propounds the problem of road safety, in which they even blind oncoming vehicles. And so we tried as the National Road Safety Authority to remove most of those unprescribed lamps that they've installed on their vehicle, so that the streets will be uniform for all of them. The moment you go and do that operation and come back, they reinstall it. And so we are also planning to go back and then do the operation of removing them. That is what we are currently doing.
Okay, so do you have any idea what is the primary reasons behind, the malfunctioning of this, street lights?
Some of them is outmoded. Some of them, as I've already said, thieves come to remove the wires and other things that will make them function. Some of them, they've pipes which contractors have to be employed to deploy to fix them. But I think because of budgetary constraints, the ones that could be fixed is not also being fixed. That is the main reasons why these things are not functioning in the country, especially in the Accra region.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma. It was nice talking to you. Thank you.
All right. So we've been speaking with Pearl Edusu Setekla. She is the Public Relations Officer for the National Road Safety Authority. Now we're going to take a quick break. Breakfast Daily has more to come, so you don't want to go anywhere.